Hey everyone, and welcome back. It's Julianne here, and today I'm going to be sharing with you how I created this Mother's Day shaker card. And today I'm going to be using two products from Honeybee Stamps, their Mother's Day stamp set, as well as the new thin polygon die set. I do plan on doing some watercoloring today, so I have trimmed down some Bristol Smooth watercolor paper to A2 size, which is 4¼ by 5½. And I'm just going to be adding some anti-static powder directly to my cardstock so that I can do some clear embossing once I've stamped both of my images. And here I'm just going to start out by masking the area that is going to be my shaker window. And to do that, I've just cut down some basic sticky notes using the thin polygon dies for reference for the size of my window. Once I have both of those sticky notes adhered to my cardstock, I'm going to start stamping this beautiful floral image from the Mother's Day stamp set, and I'm going to be stamping it with VersaFine Onyx Black ink. And once I have this first image stamped, I'm going to rotate my cardstock around, and I'm going to stamp it again on the other side before moving on. Once I have both of my floral images all stamped out and ready to go, I'm going to remove both of those sticky notes to reveal the open area, which I'll cut out for my shaker window using those thin polygon dies. Next, I'm going to start by applying some embossing powder to my cardstock, and since I did use that anti-static powder, the embossing powder should only stick to my ink where I've stamped those images, and I'm just going to tap off any excess that there may be. And once I've made sure that my images are completely covered with that clear embossing powder, I'm going to use my heat tool to emboss both of my images. When it comes to embossing, you want to make sure that your heat tool is good and ready before bringing it to your cardstock. So what I like to do is I just have mine off to the side, heating up for about 20 to 30 seconds before I bring it to my cardstock. Now with my images all embossed, I'm going to start working on my watercoloring. And for that, I'm going to be using my Brush Marker Pros in the colors Rose Pink, Skin, Lime Green, Olive Green, and Sapphire Blue. And I'm going to start out by watercoloring my flowers first, using that Rose Pink and Skin color, adding in my darker shade, which is the Rose Pink, to the areas that would have a shadow, and then coming in with the Skin color, adding it right on top of that Rose Pink, before coming back in with my blender pen to spread out the color throughout each petal. And I'm just going to continue to work a couple petals at a time, depending on their size, till I have all of my flowers complete. Next, I'm going to start working on the berries, and for that, I'm going to be using that really pretty shade of Sapphire Blue, and I'm just going to add a little bit of that color to the bottom of each berries where the shadow would be, and then I'm going to blend it out using my blender pen just like before. And finally, I'm going to watercolor in my leaves, and for that, I'm going to be using both lime green as well as olive green, and I'm going to be doing the same shading as before, where I'm going to be adding in my darkest shade of that olive green and then coming back in with lime green before I blend it out using my blender pen. And to finish off my watercoloring today, I'm going to be coming back in with that rose pink color, and I'm just going to be adding some additional color to each of those petals and just doing just as I did before, adding in that rose pink where the shadows would be, and then coming back in with my blender pen and just blending it out. And it really does make all the difference you can see in the flowers that have the second layer of color versus the ones that don't. With all of my watercoloring complete, it's now time to start working on assembling my shaker. I'm going to start out by adhering one of the layers from the polygon die set, and I die cut that out using some gold mirror cardstock, and I'm going to be adhering that directly over the edges of my shaker window using some liquid adhesive. And once I have that all adhered, I'm going to flip it over, and I'm going to adhere a piece of acetate, applying some more of that same liquid adhesive around just the window opening before adhering it down. Once I have that all adhered, you can start to see the shaker really coming together at this point. Next, I'm going to be adding 2 layers of foam tape all over the back of my watercolor panel in order to make my shaker well. And I'm just going to be adding foam tape all over my background piece here in order to make sure that there's no openings where the sequins may fall out. And next comes the fun part, which is adding in all of those beautiful sequins. I'm going to be using a variety of different sequin mixes, including the cashmere and Newport Navy confetti mixes from Honeybee Stamps. For my shaker background, I'm going to be using a piece of scrap watercolor cardstock to do some super quick and easy Distress Oxide ink blending. And I'm going to be using the color Tattered Rose for that. And I'm going to be doing my ink blending using a blender brush from Trinity Stamps, but any blending brush will work for this. And once I'm happy with my blended background, I'm going to be stamping the sentiment Happy Mother's Day that can be found in that same Mother's Day stamp set that I showed you earlier. And I'm going to be stamping the sentiment with some more VersaFine Onyx Black ink. And once I have my sentiment all stamped out, I'm going to be adhering that blended background behind my shaker window, and that's going to make sure that my sequins are unable to escape from my shaker today. And then I'm going to flip over my watercolor panel to reveal to you my shaker card. I just love flipping over my shakers that first time to see how everything came together and watching all those sequins move around. And finally, I'm just going to be adhering my shaker directly to my card base using some more of that liquid adhesive, and that's going to complete my card for today. I want to thank you all for stopping by and spending some time with me. If you liked this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, as well as subscribe to my channel for more card making ideas. If you are interested in any of the supplies I used in today's video, I will have them all listed and linked down below in the description. And as always, I hope you have a wonderful day and an amazing Mother's Day, and happy crafting!